In NCAA Division II, student-athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student-athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student-athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside Royal Brown Pavilion in Seattle, Washington. The Seattle Pacific University Falcons coming in tonight, hosting the Alaska Fairbanks, the University of Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks, as the Nanooks off to a 10-4 start this year, 2-2 in GNAC play. The Falcons really have gotten off to a slow start. They went 0-8 in non-conference. They are 1-2 in GNAC play, for an overall record of 1-10, looking to get things turned around as they're all set up front as the middle blockers. Of course, they have Hannah Hare, the last year's GNAC Player of the Year, the GNAC Defensive Player of the Year as well, and the preseason GNAC Player of the Year this year. And really, they're set at the net, but the Falcons have struggled as far as their hitting percentage goes. They're last in the GNAC coming into this match in that category, and the Nanooks are first in the GNAC. So this will be a tough test here, really, with the 1-10 start that the Falcons are off to. Any team coming in here is going to be a tough test, but the Falcons have really played well at home, and so they're going to see if they can go back to that well tonight, this year, and rely on that home cooking a little bit. As the starting lineups being introduced here from Royal Brown Pavilion, I'm Greg Sexton at GNAC Volleyball, coming right up here in just a moment. As the Nanooks, as I mentioned, 2-2 in the GNAC. That includes a win at Western Washington, and that was the first time that Alaska Fairbanks has won in Bellingham ever. As they finally got it done there in 5 sets. They lost then at Simon Fraser, and then last week they're coming off a 5-set win at home against Western Oregon, and then a 4-set loss to St. Martin's to go 2-2 in the GNAC. Falcons won their first GNAC match against Montana State Billings, but then dropped their last 2 on the road. They've been on the road for all of their matches this year, but they were at Northwest Nazarene, where they lost in 5 sets last week, and then at Central Washington, where they lost in 4. As they've really only been swept in 2 matches so far this year. They've been competitive, but they have consistently, for the most part, come out on the short end, with the exception of the win over Montana State Billings. Montana State Billings still winless in GNAC play, and still very early in the conference schedule as the starting lineups out on the floor. The liberos in Christina Lopez for SPU and Tessa Onaga for the Nanoks. And it'll be Riley White to serve it up as we are ready for action here from Royal Bourne Pavilion. And Riley White will put it in play. Mentioned the Nanoks at 10-4. That includes a 9-game win streak. And that 9th win there was against Western Washington. The first 8 were non-conference wins, as they put 1 on the scoreboard for the Falcons, but Fairbanks is serving it, so it is going to be the Fairbanks Nanoks with the point. And this one by Aaron Smith is blocked out of bounds, and so that'll tie it up at 1. Abigail Cunningham will check in for Sydney Perry. Sydney Perry leads the Falcons in kills per set at 2.3, and she's the only one that's over 2. So really the Falcons, without the services of Sarah Brockvogel this year, Abigail Cunningham with an ace as that one knuckleballed over the net, and Tessa Onaga couldn't handle it. And it's 2-1 Falcons. But Sarah Brockvogel was going to have basically her 5th year this year. Again, she started her career during the COVID year, as did a lot of these Falcons. And so a lot of them were anticipating a 5th year this year. Brockvogel, though, with a knee injury, is out for the year. As we get a look here for the Falcons at Yves La Rochelle as the outside hitter. She's a freshman out of Monument, Colorado, and she has that one blocked. But La Rochelle, a freshman for the Falcons, and they do have a few new faces on the floor, but for the most part, as there's Allison Wilkes with the spike and the kill, and Lopez will sub out, and Hannah Hare checking back in up front. Wilkes at 1.82 kills per set, and she's just under 1 block per set. Hannah Hare leading the way in that department at 1.45 blocks per set, which is pretty much on par for the way her career has gone. This one is going to be inbounds and a kill for the Nanoks, and they even it up at 3. Jason Ryan, the head coach for the Falcons, talking things over with the official, and he is going to challenge that call. So early on here in the first set, and you never know when a point is going to matter in the long run, but any point that he thinks might be disputed, he's gonna take a shot at it. So they will take a look, and actually they have it pulled up on an iPad down there at the scorer's table. I'm up here behind some glass, so not able to hear the conversation down there. But as it stands now, 3-3, the Nanoks with the kill there to even things up here in the first set. And see if we can see who they gave that to. We may have to check back in on that later, as my stats are not loading here. But it as it stands, 3-3. Jason Ryan disputing the call and thinking that one was out. Jason Ryan, the GNAC Coach of the Year last year, and last year had Lindsey Calvin as his assistant. This year, Emma Shattuck steps in, in her first year with the Falcons. And so last year, of course, the Falcons won the GNAC, tournament. I'm sorry, there's no GNAC tournament in volleyball. They won the GNAC regular season. They went to the NCAA tournament, where they were bounced in the first round by Cal State LA. And Cal State LA doing quite well so far this year. The Nanox coached by Brian Scott. He's in his 10th season at the helm of that program, and he's got 3 winning seasons to his record. Looking at a 4th one here, as he's got them 6 games over 500 at 10-4. And the Nanox really have played well. Carly Nielsen, their leader, senior out of South Weber, Utah, and a couple of other players really have stepped it up this year as opposed to their previous career numbers. And let's see here. They are going to took a point off for SPU, which I don't believe is correct. I think SPU was up 3-2. Fairbanks just tied it at 3. Yes, they do have it correct on the scoreboard now. And so they stick with the call, though. Fairbanks did tie it at 3. Serving is Symphony Henderson. And here's La Rochelle putting it over. And now sent back over by Carly Nielsen. Here's La Rochelle again. And a good dig there by the libero Onaga. Lopez gets a hand on it, can't keep it alive. And the Nanox take the lead at 4-3. So Henderson will serve again. As Fairbanks tries to go up by 2 here in the first set. Emily Tolino setting it up for Hannah Hare. She's blocked. And the Nanox take another point. As up front there, Josie Jansen got to that one along with, not sure whether it was Nielsen or Jansen was there for sure. Rachel Pierce, the other one that was up front there, and they get another block here. Fairbanks up 6-3. So Fairbanks on a 4-0 run here. Henderson puts it in play again. Here's Hannah Hare, and she spikes it over and has it returned. Aaron Smith spikes it down the line, and there's the libero Onaga again with another dig. This one going to be sent back over. Tolino sets it up for Smith again. Henderson coming over to get to it. And the Nanox keep it alive. That one sent out of bounds by Carly Nielsen. And the Falcons will take the point. Zoe Schuckert will check in for Aaron Smith. And Schuckert will serve for SPU. Score at 6-4. And sent back over by Jansen for the kill. Josie Jansen, a senior out of Sandy, Oregon. And she's up front as a middle blocker, averaging 1.08 blocks per set, which is in the top 5 in the GNAC. I believe she's number 4 coming into tonight. This one hit off the net, but the Nanox able to keep it alive, and Nielsen sends it over. Now La Rochelle has it blocked, and it goes out of bounds. Henderson diving for it and can't get to it. Can't keep it in play, I should say. And so the Falcons will get it back. La Rochelle will serve. I mentioned she is a freshman out of Monument, Colorado. A few new faces on the Falcons. For the most part, the players on the court have been here. Christina Lopez was a freshman last year. And the Falcons get within a point here. It's 7-6. La Rochelle serving to try to tie up the set. And this one spiked and blocked by Hare out of bounds. Rachel Pierce will get the kill for Fairbanks. And Josie Jansen will serve. So it's an 8-6 lead for the Nanooks here in the first set from Royal Brown Pavilion in Seattle. Here's Hannah Hare with the spike, and it goes out of bounds. She was able to get a good swing on that one and just sent it out over the sideline. And so the Nanooks with a 9-6 lead here in the first set. As I mentioned, as there's Tolino with the kill, the fake set, and she spikes it over the net. And it is 9-7. As a setter, obviously you got to pick your spots. If you do that every time, they're going to be anticipating it. But you sneak that one in every now and then. And she picked her spot well there, did Tolino. Hannah Hare, though, with the service error into the net. And she will now check out. Christina Lopez back in for SPU. 10-7 is the score in favor of the Nanooks. And Ainsley Smith, the setter for the Nanooks, will serve. Last year she split time as the setter with Symphony Henderson. And they still have Symphony Henderson out there quite a bit. But Smith is the full-time setter for the Nanooks, and really her stats are up in a lot of categories, not just assists, but kills and blocks and aces. I should say kills and digs and aces. Falcons get the point though, and it goes to 10-8 as that battle won by Elena Guck up front. Guck out of East China, Michigan. And she puts a point on the board for the Nanooks, makes it 11-8. And Riley White serving. Aaron Smith taps it over. And now Carly Nielsen, the outside hitter, puts it over, but the Falcons keep it alive, and Aaron Smith with the spike and the kill. And she took a little bit off of that one to try to get it out in front of Tessa Onaga, which is exactly what she succeeded in doing. And it's 11-9. Abigail Cunningham will come on and serve for SPU. Cunningham out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. This one sent wide, and the Falcons take another point. And it's a 1-point margin here. Falcons trying to even the score in set number 1. 11-10. Nanooks with the lead. Nielsen with the dig. And Smith will set it back up for Nielsen, and she gets it over for the kill. And she just tapped it to an open area there, and the Falcons unable to return it. So it is 12-10. And Onaga will serve for the Nanooks. Nanooks are 2-2 in GNAC play, and a lot of teams kind of right around that mark. Central Washington so far has won all of their matches in GNAC play, as this one is off the hands of Cunningham out of bounds. And that puts the Nanooks back up by 3. Central Washington 4-0. And everybody else with at least one loss. Simon Fraser and Western Washington each 2-1. As Onaga sends it over with the left hand, and the Falcons let it go, and it does go over the end line. And so SPU will take it back on the service error. Allison Wilkes will serve. 4 teams at 2-2, and then Seattle Pacific at 1-2. Wilkes sends it over. I mentioned Montana State Billings is at 0-3. And Alaska Anchorage, who will be here on Saturday, they're 1-3 so far in GNAC play. Here's Hannah Hare sending it over. And Nanoks keep it alive. Tolino will set it up for Erin Smith. She taps it. And this one is going to be sent out of bounds and actually got a piece of the antenna as well. And so the Falcons have scored the last two, and they, again, are trying to tie things up. (13-12). Nanoks in front by a point. Nielsen gets the dig there. And now spikes it over, and Wilkes with a good dig on the other side for the Falcons. Here's La Rochelle at the net. And the Nanoks keep it alive. Nielsen sends it over. Tolino sets it up for Erin Smith, and she lands it inbounds just inside the end line, and the Falcons have tied it at 13. Good swing on that one by Erin Smith, and she placed it well. Erin Smith sat down for an interview this week on the Falcons volleyball page. There's Hannah Hare with a block on Josie Jansen, and the Falcons have taken the lead at 14-13. They've scored the last four. Wilkes will serve it again. Typically when somebody gets to 15, you see somebody call a timeout, whether it's one of the coaches or it's the officials. There is a spike by Elena Guck, and the Falcons are able to keep that one alive. Cunningham volleys it back over. Smith will set it up for Guck again. This time she taps it, and that one's going to work. And that'll make it a 14-14 score as Lopez comes back in for the Falcons. Henderson and Pierce checking back in for Fairbanks as we're at 14 apiece. And we'll put my theory to the test here. I don't know if that's always the case, as Smith sends this one out of bounds. And the Nanoks go back up 15-14. And they're going to keep playing here, so. No officials timeout. No timeout by either coach either. They get two timeouts per set. And in a close set like this, they're going to save them. A block there, and the Nanoks go back up by 2. So the Falcons had a 4-0 run to take a 1-point lead at 14-13, and now the Nanoks have scored the last 3 to go back up by a 16-14 count. This one is going to be an ace for Symphony Henderson. And now the Nanoks, a 4-0 run of their own. Jason Ryan will take his first time out of the first set. And we will step aside as well here on the SPU webcast. 17-14, the Nanoks lead here in the first set. We'll be right back. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. 17-14, the Nanoks have scored the last 4 after they were down by a point at 14-13 a few moments ago. And Symphony Henderson with the serve. Hannah Hare spikes it over for the kill. And the Falcons take the point. Zoe Schuckert will come in and serve, and she will check in for Erin Smith. Falcons down 2, 17-15. And Schuckert with a line drive over the net. Nielsen gets it around the antenna, has it blocked. Henderson will set it up for Nielsen. And I mentioned earlier that Ainsley Smith has been the full-time setter, and I said she split time at the setter position with Symphony Henderson, but that is, looking at their stats, they have used Smith as a full-time setter, but in this match, though, they're going with a couple of setters, Henderson and Smith, as here's La Rochelle sending it over, and sent just a bit wide. No, they say it hit the line, as that was Riley White that hit the line. And the Nanoks take the point. It's 18-16. Here's Carly Nielsen to serve. She gets a piece of the net on the way over, and Lopez tried to dig it up, couldn't do it. And Carly Nielsen will serve it again. The Nanoks back up by 3, 19-16. Trying to string a few more points together here in this first set and go up a set to none. La Rochelle sends it over. And now sent back by Jansen. And Jansen another crack at it. Battling with Hannah Hare up front. Jansen taps it over, and there's Lopez. Here is Hare. And Hare can't quite get it over the net. And the Nanoks take a 4-point lead at 20-16. So the Falcons in trouble here in set number 1. Still a little ways to go here, though. Nielsen sends it over. Tolino with the set for La Rochelle. And now Pierce sends it back for the Nanoks. Tolino at the net puts it over. Lopez will set it up for La Rochelle, and she's blocked. Cunningham keeps it alive. Here's La Rochelle again. And this one by Riley White off the hands of Cunningham, and it's a 5-point lead for Alaska Fairbanks. 21-16, and Jason Ryan will take his other timeout. Getting late here in the first set. Nanoks by 5. The Falcons need to string some points together in a hurry. We'll be right back in just a moment.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
21-16, Alaska Fairbanks with the lead here in the first set. And the Falcons will send Anna Pallur on the floor for the first time, as Jason Ryan tries to switch things up a little bit, subbing out Eve La Rochelle. Carly Nielsen with the serve, and it's Pallur putting it back over. Henderson will set it up for Pierce, and it's blocked up front. Here's White, and Lopez got a hand on it but couldn't keep it alive, and Riley White with the kill. And it's 22-16. Riley White, a senior out of Goodyear, Arizona. Both of her parents went to Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, and White joined on the roster by her younger sister, Ashlyn, who's a freshman, who has not played much, if at all, for the Nanoks. This time the Falcons will get the point. Sydney Perry will check back in. but both of them from Goodyear, Arizona to Fairbanks, Alaska. And it's always interesting the number of Hawaiians that go to school in Alaska. That is no exception with this Fairbanks Nanoks team, as Anna Pallur with the ace there, as the Nanoks trying to let it go, and it landed in bounds. So the Falcons back within 4. It's 22-18. Pallur again will send it over. Henderson will set it up for Nielsen, who taps it over with 2 hands. Sidney Perry sends it back, and Onaga there for the dig. There's Tolino, and they're ready for that one. Pierce sends it back, and Pallur there for the dig. Here's Hare. Henderson with the dig. And Riley White. There's Perry, and it's spiked back over by Pierce. And the Nanoks go back up by 5. Rachel Pierce was there ready for it. She's a graduate transfer from the University of Toledo in Ohio and played 4 years there. And so playing at Fairbanks now as a graduate student. She's out of Rockbridge, Ohio. Tolino will set it up for Hare. She has it blocked. Falcons keep it alive. Thought that one was going to be a dead ball, but they somehow managed to keep it alive on their side of the net. Here's Sidney Perry sending it over. And now it's backhanded over, kind of flicked over by Elizabeth Jackson. And now the Nanoks will get the point, as the Falcons did return it, but the Nanoks sent it right back. And it is a set point here for Alaska Fairbanks at 24-18. And it's Jansen serving for the set. Tolino will set it up for Hannah Hare, and that one, a pinball effect there between Henderson and Nielsen. Looked like looked like Henderson got the worst of it, but it hit both of them before falling to the floor. And it is now 24-19. Hannah Hare will serve. And Hannah Hare needs to find a few points here for the Falcons to stay alive in this first set. Here's Sidney Perry. Onaga with the dig. And it's sent back over. Hare comes up with the dive. And now Perry sends it back over. Henderson with the fake set, and it works to perfection. Nobody there for the Falcons. Symphony Henderson, the setter, with the kill to end set number 1 for the Nanoks, as they take the first set by a count of 25-19. We'll step aside here on the SPU webcast. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with set number 2 coming up in just a moment.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast as the Falcons dropped the first set 25-19. And Fairbanks actually went down a point at 14-13, but then responded with a good run to take the lead back, and they end up winning it by 6 as Symphony Henderson with a fake set on the final point to drop it right in the middle of all the Falcons. And Falcons go down 1-0. They will try to respond here with set number 2 getting ready to get started here. Anna Pallur, a junior out of Redmond, Washington, came on in the first set. And it'll be Hannah Hare to check out here. Emily Tolino heading over to talk to the official. And she'll relay a message to her head coach. It'll be Tolino to serve to start the second set here. I like to give some stat updates, but unfortunately the live stat's not cooperating with me here. This is Riley Nielsen sending it over, and Sydney Perry sending it back. Now Perry will get another crack at it, and it's blocked up front. And I think that was Jackson that got a hand on it, and it may have been another player there. Elizabeth Jackson now checking out. Jackson from Graham, North Carolina. And so Fairbanks recruiting far and wide. Fairbanks also with a native of Inglewood, Florida on the roster. She has not made it into the match. This one out of bounds. Fairbanks goes up 2-0. And Tessa Onaga, a sophomore out of Honolulu, Hawaii, the libero for the Nanooks. One of 2 Hawaiians on the roster. The other one, Haley Lyons. And this one sent over, and the Nanooks out to a 3-0 lead here quickly in the second set. And Jason Ryan's team needs to get the momentum turned here. Still early in the second set. And there is Tolino setting up Wilkes for the spike and the kill. As that one goes off Nanook's hands on the other side of the net. And it is 3-1. Sydney Perry will serve for SPU. Puts it over. There's Nielsen. And now Smith will set it up for Riley White. And White gets it over for the kill as Lopez tried to dig it up. And nobody there to collect Lopez's dig as it actually hit the net. Nanooks go up 4-1, and Symphony Henderson, redshirt sophomore out of Otsego, Minnesota, serving here. Here's Aaron Smith with the spike in the kill. Gets it around Riley White. And it's 4-2 as Hannah Hare will come back in for Christina Lopez up front. And Allison Wilkes will serve. Wilkes, a fifth-year senior from Bothell, Washington. There's Nielsen with the spike, but Tolino able to dig it up, and the Falcons able to get it back over. And they are going to get the point. The way Jason Ryan reacted there, thought he was disputing a call, but no, it is in fact the Falcons' point. And now we have the stats up here, so we'll get you some updated stats through a few points here in the second set as the Nanoks blocked that one. It was Pelluer on the last kill for SPU. And then Nanoks now up by 2 as Nielsen will serve. That was a block by both Jansen and Nielsen up front. And again, there's Jansen right there in the middle. And the Nanoks go up 6-3. This is a matchup between the leading blocking team in the GNAC in the Falcons and the leading team in the GNAC in opponent blocks, meaning the Nanoks limit their opponents to the lowest number of blocks per set in the GNAC. As this one sent over by Sidney Perry, and that one goes long, and the Nanoks have scored the last 3. And it's 7-3. Alaska Fairbanks in front. Tolino will set it up for Aaron Smith, and Smith gets that one over. Gets the Falcons back within 3. So far in this one, and I may have mentioned this at the top, but Fairbanks leading the GNAC in hitting percentage, and the Falcons are last in that category, and that's kind of played out that way so far in this match as well. That time, though, a block by Hannah Hare, and the Falcons back within 2. Hitting percentages now at 260 for Fairbanks and 086 for SPU. That one sent over, and Fairbanks will take the point and make it 8-5. It'll be Josie Jansen to serve. So far in this one, Riley White with 4 kills, Carly Nielsen with 4 kills, Elena Guck with 4 kills. As Tolino tried to send that one over, and Rachel Pierce was ready for her. As they had a battle at the net, and Pierce wins that one. And the Nanoks go up by 4, 9-5. Zoe Schuckert with the dig. And now here's Pelluer, and Pelluer gets it over. They tried to block it, but it goes out of bounds. Abigail Cunningham will come in to serve for the Falcons. They trail by 3 here in the second set. Down 1-0 in the match. And Cunningham sends it over. Henderson will set it up for Jackson. And now Pierce will get a crack at it, and she gets it over for the kill as Schuckert is unable to dig it. And it's a 4-point lead again for the Nanoks. Smith and Guck will check in for them. Falcons with Aaron Smith with 6 kills, and Hannah Hare has 4. Hare with two total blocks, a solo and an assist. They actually have that as 1.5 on the stat sheet. We'll say it's 2, as she's had one by herself, and now she is serving, and then teamed up for 1. There's another point though for the Nanoks, and I think that was Jackson that sent that one over. Rachel Pierce with 5 total blocks, 1 solo and 4 assisted. Wilkes was able to get it over. Tolino cross-court set for Perry, and she sends it back. And now Nielsen is blocked by Wilkes, and Emily Tolino up there up front as well. And that felt good for Emily Tolino to block the the Nanook's leader in kills per set, as Aaron Smith will check back in for Zoe Schuckert. Carly Nielsen coming into this one averaging 3.42 kills per set rather. And Toledo will serve. Here is Jackson sending it over. Smith taps it over. Onaga there. Sent back, and that's Guck with the spike in the kill. Jansen will come back in for Jackson for Fairbanks. They lead by 4 here in set number 2. Falcons need to string a few together here. They did that in the first set and momentarily took the lead at 14-13, but then the Nanooks pulled away. This one sent over by Sydney Perry, and the Falcons back within 3. 12-9 here in the second set. Perry with just her second kill of the match there. She'll send it over. Here's Jansen with the spike and the kill for the Nanooks. And it's 13-9. Henderson and Pierce will come back for Fairbanks. And Symphony Henderson will serve. Nanooks by 4, 13-9. They're up a set to none here in the match. That one's going to go long. And a service error will give it back to the Falcons. 13-10 is the score. And Allison Wilkes with the serve and almost got an ace out of it, but the Nanooks able to keep it alive. Here's Pallur sending it over. And now Pierce, and they're going to blow this one dead. They're going to give it to the Nanooks. They will whistle the Falcons for a violation. It's 14-10. Carly Nielsen will serve. Tolino will set it up for Aaron Smith, and she's blocked. Josie Jansen there. And the Nanooks go up by 5. And Jason Ryan. No, I thought he was getting ready to call a timeout, but he does not. He lets the match continue, and Nielsen floats that one into the net for a service error. Schuckert will come back on to serve. It's 15-11. Falcons trying to get a little closer here. Riley White sends it over. Here's Tolino with the cross-court set for Pallur, and Josie Jansen right there to reject it. And it's 16-11. The Nanooks lead by 5. And Jansen will send it over. Tolino for Hannah Hare. She's blocked. Tolino this time with the fake set. Jansen there for it. Pierce sends it over. Here's Lopez setting it up for Pallur. And this one's going to be a kill for Anna Pallur as it goes off the hands of Jansen out of bounds. Cunningham will check back in for the Falcons and Onaga for the Nanooks. As Falcons trail by 4, 16-12. Here's Cunningham and Nielsen able to stick with that one. And they send it back over and it goes out of bounds. And the Falcons will take the point. 16-13. SPU back within 3. Trying to come back here in the second set. Here is Pierce, and that's Rachel Pierce with the spike in the kill for the Nanooks. And they go back up by 4, 17-13. Henderson will check out. Guck will check back in. Smith as well. Ainsley Smith will serve here. with Fairbanks up by 4 here in the second set. Tolino for Hare, and she sends it over. And now Guck with the spike and the kill, and she got a good swing on that one and sent it over. And the Nanoks take a 5-point lead. Jason Ryan takes a timeout. We will step aside as well for a moment here on the SPU webcast. 18-13, Nanoks by 5 here in the second set, up a set to none in the match already. We'll be right back. Back inside Royal Brome Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. 18-13, Nanoks lead by 5 here in the second set. And Ainsley Smith to serve. Tolino cross-court set for Perry, and she puts it over. And now Riley White sends it back. Another cross-court set for Perry. And again, the Nanoks keep it alive. There's Guck sending it back. Tolino, another cross-court set for Perry. And Smith comes up to get it, Ainsley Smith. Here's Riley White. There's Schuckert on the other side. Another set for Perry. And again, the Nanoks able to return it. Here's Hare. She's blocked. Tolino, another set for Perry. And a 5th chance at it. Here's Guck again. Tolino to Hare, and Hare sends it out of bounds. Perry had 5 chances at that one, and they were all returned. And then Hare trying to hit that sideline and couldn't keep it in bounds. And it is a 6-point lead for the Nanoks. There's Perry blocked. Cunningham keeps it alive. Perry will volley it over. And there's Elizabeth Jackson sending it over. Now Perry again. This time she gets the kill as they block it out of bounds. Wilkes will come in for Lopez, and Hannah Hare will serve. 19-14 your score. Falcons with 6 fifth-year players on the roster. One of those, Sarah Brockvogel, and you never really know how much they miss her at this point. But they won the GNAC last year with largely the same cast. Brockvogel, though, out for the season with a knee injury, and the Falcons' hitting percentage definitely suffering. Brockvogel, you have to believe, would be over 3 kills per set. As this one is sent over for the Falcons, and they get back within 5 at 20-15. Aaron Smith will check back in. As the Falcons really having good success as they have in previous years up front with, as I mentioned, leading the GNAC in blocks per set. This one off the ceiling, and it's another point for Alaska Fairbanks as they go up by 6, 21-15. Jansen back on for Elizabeth Jackson. And it'll be Tessa Onaga to serve. This one is a service error as Onaga hits the net with it. Falcons will get it back. Perry will serve. Pallur will check in up front for Abigail Cunningham. And Sydney Perry sends it over. There's Guck, and she just taps it to an open area. And the Nanoks with a 6-point lead. Henderson will come in as well as Pierce, as Smith and Guck will check out. And it is 22-16. Alaska Fairbanks closing in on a 2-0 lead here at Royal Burrow Pavilion in the Falcons home opener. Alaska Anchorage will be in here on Saturday. Mark Ockut will be up here on the call for that one. He's the PA announcer, as Fairbanks takes a 7-point lead at 23-16. And Henderson will serve it again. Pelluer comes up and dives for that one. And Tolino got to it. Falcons keep it alive. And Pelluer sent it over. And Nielsen trying to keep it alive, and she sends it into the net. Give Anna Pelluer a kill on that one, as the Nanoks unable to return it. So it's 23-17. But the Falcons running out of points here in the second set. Allison Wilkes serving. And that one sent over by Pierce. And that's a kill for the Nanoks, and that gives them a set point. Carly Nielsen will serve for the set. Rachel Pierce on the kill. And she is, she's still out there. Jansen with the block, and the Falcons keep it alive. Henderson will set it up for Jansen, and she sends it out of bounds. So the Falcons will take it. Down 6. 24-18. And Zoe Schuckert will rotate back in for Erin Smith, and she'll serve. Schuckert, a fifth-year player. So is Perry. So is Erin Smith. So is Brock Vogel, as I mentioned. Hannah Hare and Allison Wilkes, all fifth-year players for the Falcons. Here's Tolino setting it up for Hare, and Hare sends it and keeps it inbound, sends it over, and kept it inside that in line. And the Falcons still alive here in the second set, 24-19. Schuckert serves it again. And here's Riley White tapping it over, and that'll do it for the Nanoks here in the second set. They lead 2-0. They've taken each of the first 2 sets by an identical margin of 25-19. And the Falcons find themselves needing to win the next 3 to pull this one out. We are at intermission here between sets number 2 and 3. And we will step aside for a few moments here on the SP webcast. We'll be back with you in just a minute. Back inside Royal Brougham Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. The Nanoks up 2-0 as Riley White will serve to begin the third set. And Sydney Perry sends it back over. Here's Ainsley Smith out there as the setter to start the third set. And Lopez has that one go off her hand. And the Nanoks with the first point of the third set. Riley White, 6 kills through the first 2 sets. And she's serving. Rachel Pierce has 6 kills as Erin Smith sends it over. And Sydney Perry will set it up. There's Wilkes, and she's blocked. Here's Guck, and that one's going to be a kill for Elena Guck, who now has 10 in the match. Carly Nielsen with 5. And Fairbanks really dominating in blocks in this one. Jansen was 7, and Pierce was 6. And the Falcons very limited in that department. That time, though, they're able to get the point, and Wilkes will serve to make it a 2-1. That'll make it a 2-1 score. Hannah Hare with 2 blocks, and nobody else with more than 1. That time, it was Smith and Hare teamed up to block that one, but the Nanoks keep it alive. Another one there by Smith and Hare, and the Falcons tie it up at 2. So Hannah Hare picks up another block along with Erin Smith. And Wilkes will serve again. Falcons have tied it 2 apiece here in the third set. Ainsley Smith will set it up for Guck. And that one, it was blocked out of bounds by the Falcons. And so Elena Guck will get another kill. And Guck really has been putting a lot of juice on a lot of volleyballs tonight with that left hand. Onaga also a lefty. Sending it over. This one sent back, and the Nanoks deflected. It goes out of bounds. Falcons will bring in a couple of players we haven't seen yet tonight. Sophia Chambers will check in, as we have seen Tolino out there full-time as the setter, but Chambers will check in now, and Coco Barnett will also check in. Chambers out of Justin, Texas, and she serves it over. It's 3-3. Chambers the dig there, and there's Barnett keeping that one alive. Here's Pallur sending it over, and that's going to be a kill for Anna Pallur. And the Falcons go up 4-3. Chambers, a sophomore out of Justin, Texas, and Coco Barnett, a sophomore out of Fitchburg, Wisconsin. As Chambers sends it over again. And Guck, another spike, and another kill for Elena Guck. As Rachel Pierce and Symphony Henderson will check back in up front for the Nanoks. And Henderson will check in to serve, I should say. 4-4 as the Nanoks try to retake the lead here in the third set. Perry comes up to dig that one. And here is Barnett with a good spike, but the Nanoks able to keep it alive. Chambers sets it up for Barnett again. And again, the Nanoks able to keep it alive, this time off the hands of Chambers, and the Nanoks will take the point. And they lead it 5-4 here in the third set. Nanoks up 2-0 as they've won each of the first 2 sets by a 25-19 margin. And Henderson serving. Hare sends it over. And now Jansen back over. This one's going to go out of bounds. And it's the Nanoks point. 6-4 is your score. Henderson sends it over. And Chambers whiffs on that one as her teammates come over to let her know to go get them next time. But it is now 7-4 in favor of Fairbanks. Henderson sends it over. And Chambers this time sets it up for Pallure, and she sends it out of bounds. Nanoks up by 4 here in the third set. And at the moment, the Nanoks hitting 299 and the Falcons just 093. Here's Hannah Hare, though, and she sends it over for the kill. And that will put the Falcons back within 3 as Abigail Cunningham will check in and serve. She comes in for Pallure. Cunningham sends it over, and Nielsen able to pop it up in the air long enough for Onaga to get to it. And here is Barnett with a good spike. Nielsen sending it back the other way, and it lands in bounds. And that will make it a 9-5 count here for the Nanoks. Falcons had a 4-3 lead, but the Nanoks now have scored 6 out of the last 8. Perry is blocked by Jansen and Pierce, and it's 10-5. Falcons need to really seize the momentum and get it going the other way if they want to stay alive in this match. Here's Barnett sending it over. Henderson will set it up for White. Good dig there by Lopez. And here's Sydney Perry sending it over and off the hands of Symphony Henderson. And Sydney Perry with the kill. That'll make it a 10-6 score. Hannah Hare will serve for SPU. Fifth-year senior out of Walla Walla, Washington. Wilkes with a good block there, but the Nanoks able to keep it alive, and Cunningham comes up short, diving for that one. Couldn't get to it. And it is 11-6. A couple of the seniors from last year, Sarah Day and Brianna Ingram, out to support the team. As here's Sydney Perry sending it over. And a block there by Barnett and Wilkes. And they were all over that one. Tolino and Smith will come back in for the Falcons. They're back within 4. Emily Tolino will serve. Both Tolino and Aaron Smith out of Carlsbad, California. Did not go to the same high school. Tapped over by Riley White, and the Falcons send it back. Now here is Rachel Pierce, and that one deflected. Cunningham coming up to try to dive on the floor for it, and couldn't get to it in time. Subs in for both teams as Guck checks in, as does Ainsley Smith. And now Anna Pallure in for Abigail Cunningham. 5-point lead for the Fairbanks Nanoks here in the third set, as Tolino gets that one over to Aaron Smith, and she gets it over the net. Tolino comes up to get this one, finds Smith, and that one finds the Nanoks, and Elizabeth Jackson with the block there. And Fairbanks by 6. And just a stark contrast as Smith comes up short on that one, sends it into the net. But last year the Falcons won the GNAC. They only had they only lost once here at home to Western Washington. Beat everybody else in the conference, including these Nanooks. As Smith sends it back over. Jason Ryan was the coach of the year last year. And really a lot of the same team back. Kind of mentioned that Sarah Brockvogel is, we did mention, not kind of, she's out. She's over there on the bench, but wearing the warm-up shirt. Here's Wilkes, and Wilkes sends it over for the kill. That moves the Falcons back within 5 as Hannah Hare checks in for Christina Lopez. But the Falcons really need to go on a run here. And Wilkes, or Perry rather, or was that Wilkes actually that served it there? It was. And she sends it over the end line. It's 15-9. Nanooks with the lead, and Onaga, the lefty serve. Here's Smith sending it back. Aaron Smith for the Falcons off the hands of Ainsley Smith for the Nanooks. And it's 15-10 as Sophia Chambers will check back in along with Coco Barnett. Chambers will serve. This one goes long, and the Nanooks will take it back with a 6-point lead, 16-10. Falcons got their conference or their non-conference schedule started playing a lot of ranked teams, but they went 0-8 in their non-conference schedule. And this one sent into the net by Pallure. And it's 17-10. The Nanooks trying to sweep aside the Falcons here. Jason Ryan doesn't like what he's seeing, and he takes a timeout. We'll go ahead and step aside on the SPU webcast as well. We'll be back in just a moment. 17-10. Nanooks trying to sweep aside the Falcons in 3. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons have trailed much of this match, and they find themselves in danger of getting swept by the Nanooks here. As Fairbanks trying to go to 3-2 on the GNAC portion of the schedule. Riley White sends it over. And Coco Barnett will keep it alive, but sends it out of bounds on the other side of the court. And the Nanooks lead by 8. Things not going well for Jason Ryan's squad. Everything went well for them last year. Symphony Henderson sends this one into the net. And it's 18-11. Falcons have added a few new faces this year. We saw La Rochelle on in the first set. And many of their other new faces have not gotten off the bench tonight. There is Chambers. And now Barnett. Lopez will get it over. And there is Rachel Pierce. And Pallure can't handle it. And it is 19-11 as Pierce with the kill. And the Nanoks lead by 8. Thought that maybe Falcons just needed a little home cooking. But they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. And they don't have a lot of time before Anchorage is in here on Saturday. Anchorage not off to a great start in the GNAC this year as the Falcons take the point and make it 19-12. Christina Lopez will serve for SPU. Henderson sets it up for Nielsen. Nielsen's had a relatively quiet night as nights go for Carly Nielsen. And it's been Elena Guck leading the Fairbanks, leading the Nanoks in kills. Barnett with the kill there for the Falcons, and they get back to within 6 at 19-13. Lopez, the libero, serving. Jansen sends it over, and it's off the hands of Lopez. And it's 20-13. Josie Jansen gets ready to serve, and Elizabeth Jackson checks in up front for Fairbanks. Brian Scott's team has come in and really just dominated this match. That one sent back over, and they blow it dead. And they give the Falcons the point. It's 20-14. Aaron Smith and Emily Tolino check back in. Tolino sends it over. And now sets it up for Sydney Perry, and Sydney Perry with the kill. As she was able to get that one past Tessa Onaga. And the Falcons back within 5, 20-15. Here's Tolino to serve again. Henderson sets it up for Riley White. And now that's Perry sending it back. Pierce keeps it alive. And Jackson sends it back over. Tolino sets it up for Wilkes. She's blocked. She keeps it alive. Here is Perry again. And now Henderson will set it up for Pierce. And Aaron Smith spikes it over for the kill. And the Falcons back within 4, 20-16 here in the third set. And Brian Scott will take a timeout, and that's the first time he's called a timeout tonight here in set number 3 as he tries to keep the Falcons from going on a long run here. They're back within 4, 20-16. Third set is not over yet, but Fairbanks in a good position. We'll be right back in just a moment. Falcons within 4 at 20-16 as they've scored the last 3. And Emily Tolino will serve. Riley White with the dig. And here's Pierce, and that one is going to be a kill for Rachel Pierce as the Falcons unable to handle that one. Ainsley Smith and Elena Guck will check back in for Fairbanks. Elena Guck with 12 kills, Rachel Pierce now with 10. And Carly Nielsen just 6 on the evening. Here's Tolino setting it up for Sydney Perry. And that one's going to end up on the Nanook side of the net. Falcons with the point. Sydney Perry the kill. That's 8 kills now for Sydney Perry in the match. Cross court set for White, and Riley White spikes it over for the kill. And it is 22-17. And Riley White will serve. Riley White does a little bit of everything for the Nanooks. Kills, digs, aces. As this one sent over by Aaron Smith. Ainsley Smith, a cross-court set for Carly Nielsen. And she puts it over and puts the Nanooks in front by 6 at 23-17. Riley White will serve again. Falcons were trying to get back into this third set here. And now they really are going to have to string a bunch of points together. As that one sent into the net by Guck, she didn't get it over. And the Falcons back within 5, 23-18. Here's Wilkes to serve for SPU. Ainsley Smith setting it up for Carly Nielsen, and another kill gives the Nanooks now a match point. Josie Jansen will come in for Elizabeth Jackson, and it'll be Tessa Onaga to serve for the match for the Nanooks. And Onaga sends it into the net. Falcons within 5 as Chambers and Barnett check back in. And Sophia Chambers is going to have to string some points together here to keep the Falcons alive in this third set. 24-19. Chambers sends it over. There's White with the dig. Ainsley Smith sets it up for Guck. And it's sent back. Guck, another shot at it, and that one ends up in the scorers table as Perry couldn't handle it. And the Nanooks take all 3 sets tonight by a count of 25-19 as they just were out in front of the Falcons pretty much the whole match. Falcons in the first set momentarily had a 14-13 lead after the Nanooks led a lot of the first set. Falcons had a run, but then the Nanooks were able to pull away in that first set. And really, Falcons did not have a lot going for them in the second or the third set either. And Fairbanks, a convincing 3-set win over SPU tonight. Here at Royal Brougham Pavilion, Falcons fall to 0-1 on their home floor, and they fall to 1-11 overall, just 1-3 in GNAC play. Fairbanks goes to 11-4. And they go to 3-2 in the GNAC. Mentioned that all 3 sets, Fairbanks wins by a count of 25-19. Let's take a look at some of the stats from this match as Fairbanks ends up hitting 304. Falcons at 124, so they were down under 100 for a lot of this match. And they get their hitting percentage up to 124, but still a far cry below 304, which is what the Nanooks hit. Nanooks lead the GNAC in hitting percentage, and this will play just fine in terms of their season stats as they hit 304 here in this one. 47 kills for Fairbanks to 35 for SPU, and 46 assists for Fairbanks to 35 for the Falcons. As individually, Elena Guck with 13 kills to pace the Nanooks. Rachel Pierce had 10, Carly Nielsen with 8, and Riley White with 8. And yeah, a lot of players on the court tonight for the Nanooks getting it done. They really dominated the blocks here. Let's look at the assists first. Ainsley Smith had 22 assists. Symphony Henderson had 18 for the match. But the blocks, 8 for Josie Jansen, 7 for Rachel Pierce, 4 for Elizabeth Jackson. And they get 14 digs from Tessa Onaga, their libero, 9 digs from Ainsley Smith, who was in part of the time as a setter along with Symphony Henderson. For SPU, they get 8 kills. They get 9 kills from Aaron Smith. They get 8 from Sydney Perry. And they get 25 assists from Emily Tolino, who did the majority of the setting. Sophia Chambers came in and did some of it in that third set. Just 3 blocks for Hannah Hare, 2 for Allison Wilkes, and nobody else had more than 1. Nobody had double-digit digs for the Falcons either, as Christina Lopez had 9 digs to lead the Falcons in that department. 8 for Sydney Perry. She had 8 kills and 8 digs, and 7 for Anna Pallur. But Falcons really pretty much dominated here on their home floor tonight by the Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks, and they'll have to go back to the drawing board as they really are not off to the kind of start that they wanted to get off to this year. Now at 1-11 after winning the GNAC last year, having a great season last year, but really need to get things turned around. They have some time to do that. We're still early on in the GNAC schedule, but the season not going the way that the last one did for SPU at this point. We're going to go ahead and sign off here on the SPU webcast. And again, Saturday afternoon, the Alaska Anchorage Seawolves will be in the building at 2 p.m. That'll be the first serve. The Nanooks will go to Billings and play Montana State Billings on Saturday as well. But Anchorage will be here at 2 o'clock. I'm going to miss that one. Mark Acut will be up here in the press box or the broadcast booth, bringing you that one from a different vantage point than normal. He's normally the PA announcer down at the scorer's table, so this will be a little different for him. But we'll hope that the Falcons can have better luck on Saturday afternoon against the Anchorage Seawolves than they did here tonight against the Fairbanks Nanooks, as the Nanooks take it in 3 sets, all by scores of 25-19. And again, Fairbanks now 3-2 in the GNAC, Falcons 1-3. Have a good night, and we'll be back on Saturday afternoon. We'll see you then.